He said I
Mute
should
your
edit
mic.
in my mind.
Well, like I said, you only have this file for doing the class right now. So file of doing the class right now. So four of you, including myself, make it five. Let's see if others will still join. Let's take a break. Hello.
Yes, sir.
I don't know why the class is so scanty now. You are just five in the class. You are just five.
Maybe they are yet to join.
And then the exam is next week. Is that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, oh, the Lord is your strength. Okay. Maybe.
Please, is the meeting still on? I'm not hearing you, please.
Madam Josephine, I'm here. The meeting is on. Can you hear me?
She's not here.
No, she's the one talking now. This is Josephine talking here.
She has she just joined again.
She's still in the class. Yes, I can see her. 5 of you are in the class. Or 4 of you, 3 of you said. The oath is the 4th is the 5th person. So 3 Adejumo, 5 boys, Josephine and Smith. Or GNM or something like that. Those are the 3 of you in the class. Okay, this is 408. Just to avoid repetition by the time they come to class, you might have gone far. Let's just up what happened.
Go ahead.
Once it is cut off to 4, we start, and that is all. Just 5 minutes. Let's just give them 5 minutes.
Please, is meeting still on? I'm not seeing it. Oh, I'm not hearing anything. Please, I'm not hearing anything. Oh, I don't know whether it's from. Good boy.
You don't want to do the naming ceremony. So now the baby here.
Just
That place, that upstairs.
thank God. So quick.
How it is now?
Okay, thank God. I don't know, say if yesterday that I saw your wife. No, then again, I answer. I'm surprised. My auntie never Please, sir. Is the lesson still on? I'm not hearing anything. I'm not hearing anything. Is the lecture still on? Please, sir. Is the lecture still on? I'm not hearing anything. Please, sir.
The lecture is on. No, we are waiting for others.
Okay. It never starts.
Yes, in 2 minutes
Okay.
time.
Thank God. Okay. Thank God. I feel that it's on. I'm not hearing anything. Please, apart from this lecture we are going to have now, do we have another? Have we done another lecture today? Please, so I'm asking, have we done another lecture today, or is there another one to be due?
Madam Josephine, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
They had one lecture 12 to 2. Are you in the class? Did you join that class? Hello, we've waited enough. So let's just continue from where we stopped on Friday. Can you all hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay,
We can hear you, sir.
we can continue from where we stopped on Friday. We were talking about.
Yes, sir, we can hear
I
you.
just take it from the last part of the Friday class. We are looking at eccentricism, that's judging other people's culture, using your own culture as a yardstick. And we said an anthropology should not make any headway if he's using his own culture to determine other people's culture, because he will not be able to get the varieties that are embedded in other cultures. I can remember I said to us that no single culture is inferior or superior to the other. But we have made it so in this part of the world, and that's what I call being xenocentric. Some of us, we are xenocentric. We believe that other people's culture are superior to ours, especially the American culture. And we want to talk, we want to wear their clothes, we want to eat their food, we want to do everything that they are doing because our culture is inferior. And that is why we are where we are today. By seeing our own culture as inferior, we are promoting their culture and we are increasing their economy. By seeing our own culture as inferior, we are killing our culture and we are killing our economy. We've got so many people who are involved in something that they were traditional to us, things that are part of our culture. I made mention of hairstyle, especially for women, all those women that were plaiting, that were doing all manner of, those traditional hairstyle now. How many of those women are still working today? You sent them out of business because you want to become American. And whatever you don't appreciate, nobody will appreciate it for you. If you don't appreciate it, it's because those people appreciated their own, that's why we are appreciating them. If they didn't appreciate their culture, nobody will see it as what they call it. And that is the challenge we are having in this part of the world. So I think we stop looking at what we do not know all of our own culture. I think that was where we stopped last week Friday. Am I correct? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That was where we stopped. We want to look at, no one knows everything about our own culture. In all societies, there are bodies of specialized cultural knowledge that are gender specific. They are known to men, but not to women, or vice versa. That simply means there are some parts of culture that are known to women, which are not known to men. In many societies, there are also bodies of knowledge that are limited largely to particular social classes, occupation, religious group, or other special purpose association. So we do not know all our culture. You may think you marry a husband or marry a woman. The only thing you know about her is where she is as your wife. By the time she gets to court, there are so many things that are being done in the court. I mean, a lawyer, you got married to a lawyer, that you may not know. There are cultures for different professions. There are cultures for different groups and profession you find yourself. I was telling somebody that as a lecturer, what determines your promotion is your publication. And you don't just sit down and publish. It requires money. For somebody who went to academics, you just tell that person, I need $70 to publish a paper between now and next week. Which kind of paper is that? So that is the culture of academics. Some will tell you they need $250 to publish a paper, just an article. In a high impact factor journal with very high index, good indexing. What I'm saying might be strange to you. What is this man saying? That is the culture of academics. So we don't know everything. That's why the fact that I'm into academics, I may be saying some things and my wife will be looking, although I carry her along with what I'm doing. But she will know everything because that is not where she is for now. So no one knows everything about his or her own culture. In our society, there are bodies of specialized cultural knowledge that are gender specific. They are known to men but not to women, or vice versa. In many societies, there are also bodies of knowledge that are limited largely to particular social class. Maybe the upper class, the middle class, the lower class, even that's what we call the underclass. There are ways of doing things that are, common to them, unique to them, which other people who are not members of their class may not be able to, to understand. There are cultural behaviors in different occupations, in religious groups. If you are not there, you are not there. You may not understand in different religious groups. Even in Christianity, as we have Catholic, we have Pentecostal, you have different people. If you go to Catholic today, you may be seeing different mode of worship. If you go to Anglican today, you may be seeing different mode of worship. If you go to, there are diverse ways of doing things, which is unique to individual. You get it? Or other special purpose association. Gender-based skills, knowledge, and the perception largely stem from the fact that boys and girls, to some extent, are treated differently from each other in our society. That is it. And the way people of different classes are being treated also differ. In some family, they will tell you it is the responsibility of the female child to be in the kitchen with the mother. Why? Because we are practicing patrilineal and patriarchy. Patriarchy talks about authority. Archy means authority. When I say patriarchy, that means authority belongs to the male. When I say matriarchy, that means authority belongs to the female. So they believe that men will sit down in the sitting room, cross their leg, watching football, while the woman must be in the kitchen cooking. That is the culture. You may be surprised that your mother will come to your house as a man. And when your mommy see you trying to shred, vegetable, trying to assist your wife, your mommy will begin to cry. Hey, Chimo, hey, you don't kill my son. Oh. Because to her, it is abnormal. To her. But culture is doing changing. It's changing. Now, and some people who are the custodians of those old ways, they are not ready to change it. So, male and female, or boys and girls, are being given different orientation. Men are meant to be strong. Even our social workers, we hear that men are meant to be strong, and that is how men are dying in silence, because they are meant to be strong. If same thing happens to a boy and a girl, you will pet the girl and you tell the boy, you know a boy, as if he doesn't have blood flowing in his string. Because men are meant to be strong, men must not cry, even when they are going through terrible situation. Because that is the kind of orientation we are giving. While there may be considerable overlap in what they are taught, there are some things that are gender specific. In the Western world, for instance, it is more common to teach boys about the skills of combat and how machines work. Girls are more often exposed to the subtleties of social interaction. and the use of clothing, makeup to communicate intention. That's why they must go half naked, because that's how they can communicate. That's why they must turn themselves to mascara, paint everywhere, because that is what they believe that is only language. The opposite side we understand. Well, I could remember one of my students once said that women or ladies are moved by what they hear, while men are moved by what they see. I don't know if that is true. So, like we said, in the Western world, for instance, it is not common to teach boys about the skills of combat and how machine work. Girls are more often exposed to subtleties of social interaction and the use of clothing and makeup to communicate intention. Not surprisingly, men are more likely to know how to fix their car or computer, while women generally are better at predicting the outcome of social interaction and make finer distinctions in fabrics and color terms. You can test your own gender-related cultural knowledge with the following pictures of relatively common items from North America and other parts of the world. There are many professions in large-scale society. Each one usually has its own terminology and specialized tools. Lawyers, medical doctors, soldiers, and other specialists use numerous technical terms in their profession. To make it even more obscure for outsiders, what does that mean? To keep it safe, to make it difficult, to make it not clear, ambiguous for outsiders, that somebody who is not in that profession. Remember, I told you that even if your wife is a lawyer or a doctor and you are not in the same profession with her, there is little you can know. You can't know everything about her. It's all about her profession. Now you can see when we're talking about doctors, lawyers, talk about soldiers, they have their specific terms, they have their specific terminologies, you know, which you may not be able to understand. You may not be able to understand what they are saying. To make it even more obscure to outsiders, these professionals often use abbreviations to refer to their technical terms. If you are not in medical field, and I don't know if you have tried to read what a doctor wrote for you, the only person that is able to read it, the nurse and the pharmacist. Have you seen things like that before? Have you noticed something like that before?
Yes, sir. I have noticed something like that.
It is only the nurse, the pharmacist. You will look and look. You will not understand. Because it's not meant for you. It's meant for them. So in every profession like that, they have their jargon, they have their culture, they have ways of doing things. You get it? So they make it a bit difficult for somebody who is not in their profession to understand. For instance, orthopedic surgeons commonly refer to a particular kind of knee operation as ACL surgery. ACL. It is common to those who are in sport to have that problem with their Achilles. It is called Achilles something. It has to do with their Achilles. That A is Achilles. It happened to few footballers recently, and they were sidelined for almost 6-7 months. It's a big surgery. It's a big surgery. ACL stands for anterior cruciate ligament. Achilles, sorry, stands for anterior cruciate ligament. It has to do with the Achilles here. Most people outside the medical field who have not had this surgery are likely to know where this ligament is and what it does, let alone know what the abbreviation means. The lawyers who we have their own. We're just trying to say that every profession has their own culture. Culture gives us a range of permissible behavior patterns. Before we continue, we have just talked about we do not know all of our own culture. So before I move to the next subtopic, I don't know if anybody wants to ask any question on that. We need to move very fast today. After the class, I will put the material to us. Go with airport.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, please, I want to know the topic. As I wasn't in the class for the first time. This is my first time of attending this class. So please, may I know the topics of this?
The title of this course is Culture and Theories and Social Theories. Have you seen it? It's projected. I'm sharing my slide with you. Have you seen it? Madam, can you see it? Lecture note on Culture and Social Theory. IPE 403.
Yes. Yes,
So
sir, I've seen it. Thanks, sir.
That is the title of the course.
Okay.
That is the course title. And the course code IPE 403. So, I'm asking if anybody has any question on what we have said so far. We do not know all our own culture. Do you understand that? Can we proceed?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Let's move to the next. Culture gives us a range of permissible behavioral patterns. Cultures commonly allow a range of ways in which men can be men and women can be women. Culture also tells us how different activities should be conducted, such as how one should act as a husband, wife, parent, child, etc. These rules of permissible behavior are usually flexible to a degree. There are some alternatives rather than hard rules. There are some alternative rather than hard rules. In North America, for instance, culture tells us how we should dress based on our gender. But it allows us to dress in different ways in different situations in order to communicate varied messages and statuses. The clothing pattern of women in this society can be particularly rich and complex. Their clothing can be intentionally business-like, recreational, as well as sexually attractive, ambiguous, neutral, or even repulsive. I believe you know those countries that fall under North America. The United States of America, the Canada. Yeah. Their clothing can be intentionally business-like, recreational, as well as sexually attractive, ambiguous, neutral, or even repulsive. North American women are generally more knowledgeable than men about the subtleties of using clothing and other adornment to communicate their intention. Not only North Americans, even Nigerians are doing so. To communicate their intentions. The wide range of permissible ways of being women in North America today makes women somewhat unpredictable as individuals when others are trying to understand their intentions but do not fully comprehend the cultural pattern. It is particularly hard for men from other cultures to comprehend the subtle nuance. These at times can result in awkward or even dangerous situations. For instance, the easy friendliness and casual, somewhat revealing dress of young North American American woman in the summertime is sometimes interpreted by traditional Latin America and Middle Eastern America as sexual invitation. So that tells you that there are different attire for different occasions. If you go to beach now, we don't often see that in Nigeria and this part of the world. But if you go to their beach, we see what they will wear. To them, it's normal. Nobody is saying it's sexual invitation. But here, where we don't see things like that, we give it another meaning. Ah, this is sexual invitation. It's inviting. Such people will spend some years in the prison before they will understand that nobody was inviting them. What messages do the clothes and body language of the woman in the picture below communicate to us? How do you think they might be interpreted by members of the opposite gender and by people in other cultures? Do you think that the age of the observer might play a part in their interpretation? It is true. The age of the observer can as well play, like I told us last week or last week Friday, that what the generation today are seeing, if your grandmother or great-grandmother were to be alive, she'd be crying that what has happened to these children. Because what she was wearing as underwear, I remember in those days, even my own mother, after wearing the underwear, they will now wear this long veil. They call it, I don't know what they call it, but it's a longer one. It's still an underwear before wearing their clothes. But today, what do we see? Not only that ladies are wearing skimpy dresses, they are walking naked. Walking naked. And which is not part of our culture. The point I'm making is that it is not part of our culture. We have taken that cultural trait and it is spreading like a wildfire. Except we don't want to agree. It is not part of our culture. It is alien to our culture, but we want to be like other people. And that is the high level of, xenocentrism, like I said last week. Pantsless generation, and they are so proud of it. So proud. And my question is, even what do you call private parts when you are brought into the public? Let's leave that by the way. So don't think that those who are doing it over there, it is part of their culture. You will not see them tying wrapper the way we are tying wrapper in Nigeria, because that is our own culture. And because of where they found themselves, the weather there is, okay with their mode of dressing. But the reverse is the case here. Let's leave that. The range of permissible ways of dressing and acting as a man or woman are often very limited in strictly fundamental Muslim, Jewish, Christian, and Hindu society. So we can see what can also affect our dress, mode of dressing, is our religion. Like we said before now, today, that different culture have their own belief and their own culture. I mean, different religion rather, have their own. Some religion, they tell you, you don't use earring as women. You don't use jewelry. And they have reason for that. Some even tell you, you don't palm, you don't Jericho, you don't add attachment to your hair. They have reason for that. You get it? And the moment a member of that church see you dressing that way, sister, you are backsliding. Meanwhile, in another religion, in fact, you are just okay. That talks about the relativity of culture. Even in the church, in the mosque, that's what we talk about, relativity of culture. Culture is relative. What is permitted in one religion is not permitted in another religion. So we said the range of permissible ways of dressing and acting as a man or woman are often very limited in strictly fundamental Muslim, Jewish, Christian, and Hindu society. In Afghanistan, under the Taliban rule, during the late 1990s, men were expected to wear traditional male clothing and were beaten or jailed by immorality police for not having a full beard. Can you imagine? You must keep your beard as, you know, if you're a man and you don't keep beard, you are in trouble. You'll be jailed or you'll be beaten for not having a full beard, a playing or listening to music, or allowing female family members to go out in public unchaperoned, that is, without anybody with them. Women were similarly punished for being in public without wearing a plain, loose outer gown that covered their face and entire body, including their feet. They also were not allowed to go to school or to work outside the home. To the surprise of Europeans, the North Americans, many of these conservative cultural patterns did not disappear with the end of Taliban control. They are deeply ingrained in the Islamic tradition of Afghanistan and in the more conservative nation of the Middle East. So we have just talked about relativity of culture. What is permitted in terms of mode of dressing, based on religion, based on religion, is not what is permitted in another religion. There's a culture no longer exists in isolation. It is highly unlikely that there are any societies still existing in total isolation from the outside world. It is highly unlikely that there are any societies still existing in total isolation from the outside world. Even small, out of the way, tribal societies are now being integrated to some extent into the global economy, meaning that there is no culture that is 100% pure. There is no culture that is 100% pure. You have taken traits of other people's culture into your culture. Even the smallest tribal society, they have taken some into their own culture. This was not the case a few short generations ago. Some of the societies in the island of New Guinea were unaware of anyone beyond their homeland until the arrival of European Australian miners in the 1930s. And the arrival of those people, they also came with their own what? With their own tradition, with their own culture. So that has mixed with the existing culture. Those people came with traits of their own culture, and they are also learning from the host culture, and the host culture is also taken from them. So no culture exists in isolation. If you claim that you are Igbo, you can't tell me that all that you are doing in this class as an Igbo man or woman is pure Igbo culture. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
That is just true. From your food to your clothing, is there anybody in this class that doesn't eat meat pie? Hello. You don't eat meat pie. You don't eat meat pie. You don't eat Scotch egg. You don't eat, you don't wear trousers. They are not part of us. But because none of us, no culture is not living in isolation. There are so many things that are not part of Nigerians or that are not part of many cultures in Nigeria that we have, brought in. And it continues like that. That is just it. It has become part of us. Like an adage in Igbo land that says, if an abomination continues,
That says,
it will become a culture. Please mute your mic, please. Let everyone mute his mic. If an abomination continues, it will become a culture. That is just it. What ladies are wearing out today, what they call tight, is meant for under, but now they wear it outside. Initially, it was an abomination, but it continues. And that's become part of our culture. That's just it. Men, in those days, if you see anybody with rough hair, you will run away. He's a madman. But today, it has become a culture. Young boys, they leave their hair into tangles. They call it cocoa waves or waiting their color. In those days, when you see somebody like that, children will run away that a madman is coming. In those days, you cannot go out with torn clothes, but now they will buy it and even tear it by themselves. They call it crazy jeans because it's only meant for those who are crazy. But it has become part of us. Somebody was telling me in the class that even ladies are now cutting their tongues into two to make it look like snake tongue. Have you heard of that before? That they are now cutting their tongue. And it will become two. They will cut it from the front. And it now look like snake tongue. You can imagine.
What?
And before you know it now, they bring it to Nigeria. Omawune, please mute your mic. Omanuwe. Omanuwe. Mute your mic. Okay, let's go. A few of the, okay, not there now. Okay, yeah, there. A few of the Indian tribes in the upper Amazon basin in South America remain unaware of the outside world until explorers entered their territories in the 1950s and 1960s. Members of these same New Guinea and Amazonian societies today buy clothes and household items produced by a multinational corporation. So they've broken into their system and they're not using things that are being produced by a multinational organization. I hope you understand what we mean by culture no longer exists in isolation. Do you understand that?
No, sir.
I hope you have been with us from the beginning. Good that you said no. Have you been with us from the beginning? Were you with us from the beginning?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. What I'm saying is this. You are Igbo, I believe, because your name is Caroline Enyinaya. You no longer, all what you have with you and in your house and what you have, it is not purely Igbo. You have taken some aspects, some traits of other culture that are not part of your culture and you are living with it. It has become part of you, true or false? Caroline? True or false? You don't understand, you don't understand. Answer my question. True or false? Caroline? She left the class? Okay. Caroline? The only way you can understand is to answer my question. So I can use it to explain what you didn't understand. What that means
She's not here.
But she was the one that you had her when she said she didn't understand what I was saying.
Yes, but she's not here.
And she has left the class. Is there any other person that didn't understand
She has,
that
she has
particular?
joined. She has joined again.
Okay, Caroline, where are you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you disappear and you reappear. Fine. Did you hear my question? That what you have with you and what you are Igbo girl, I know very well. And I'm saying that what you have with you, what you know, is not only the Igbo culture that you have. You have acquired other culture, even within Nigeria, that's not part of Igbo culture. True or false?
True, sir.
Aha. That means your own Igboic culture cannot live alone, cannot live in isolation, cannot. When you say isolation, somebody to himself. So we are saying that culture no longer exists in isolation, that there is no single culture that is pure, meaning that they have accommodated other foreign culture. That is the point we are making. Do you now understand?
Okay, sir.
Like
Yes,
in
sir.
Nigeria, you eat apple in the morning, apple, you eat ofe sala, ofe, whatever you call ofe. But now, that's not the only food you eat. You eat
Yeah.
spaghetti, you eat fried rice, you eat salad, you eat. Are they part of your food in Igbo land?
No, sir.
Aha! So they have diluted your Igbo culture. Instead of you eating only apple, eating, now all those abacha, pure, and we see again. May I not talk again. That's what they call okpa.
Yeah.
But that's not the only thing you eat now.
Yeah.
It is not only your Igbo. I don't even know if you have any Igbo attire. Sef. Don't let me say only Igbo. Do you have any Igbo attire? Nah, lie, you don't get any. But I should
have,
ask,
sir.
like how many? Like 2 or 1?
Yeah.
The rest na trousers, jeans.
Yeah.
So that is what we mean by culture no longer exists in isolation. We have
Okay.
brought in different culture. Do you now understand now?
Yes, I do better.
That's why I said I need to ask you a question. You answer me so you understand it. And now we have gotten what we wanted to do. That's okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. We said a few of the Indian tribes in the Upper Amazon. I think we've done with that. Okay, let me go back. They are developing a growing knowledge of other culture through schools, radios, even television and internet. That is where we are learning many things that are not part of us. Through radios, television, internet, so many things that were alien to us are being done today. Not that we have been to America, not that we have been to Canada, not that we have been to UK, but we have learned them and perfected them just via the internet. So those are the tools that has, made it impossible for any culture to live in isolation. That is it. They've made it impossible for any culture to live in isolation or to be in isolation. As a result of this inevitable process, their languages and indigenous cultural patterns are being rapidly replaced. Virtually all societies are now acquiring cultural traits from the economically dominant societies of the world. Yes, from the economically dominant, because they are the one occupying the space. If you open your internet, how many of Nigerian things you will see there? But you see more of their own because they have money to do the advert. They have government is subsidizing for them, and they are just flooding the internet with series of information, both audio and video, that we are trying to emulate. So, and except you are not into academics, except you are not educated, that's why you not open your phone, your WhatsApp on daily basis. In fact, if you don't have data on your phone, it will look as if the whole world has left you behind. And that is why they are using it. What you are paying for data here, they don't pay for it like that in developed world. That's why the fact that data is becoming expensive in Nigeria, we can't do without it. What you are using now is your data. If you look at the side of your phone, you see one advert, you didn't pay for it. They bring in all those things, and those are the things that make culture to be in isolation. Culture can no longer be in isolation. The emergence of what is essentially a shared global culture is not likely to result in current major culture disappearing in the immediate future. The same way many of the small indigenous ones are. Language differences and ethnocentrism will very likely prevent that from happening. Remember we said last week, and can somebody remind me the positive and the negative side of ethnocentrism? Hello? I explained that last week on Friday to us. What is the positive and the negative side of ethnocentrism? Somebody to just help us. There was a guy that was in this
Please,
class
sir,
on
what
Friday. Peter, where is that Peter?
ethno-
Peter, are you in the class? Peter, are you in the class?
Please, sir, what is ethnocentrism?
My good God. I said ethnocentrism. Ethnocentrism.
Ethnocentrism. What is it? Ethnocentrism. Can I understand it before I know what
Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. I will explain that to you, Madam Josephine. Can somebody remind us the positive and the negative side of ethnocentrism? Don't let me start calling names. So, Peter, where are you? You see, Peter is not in this class. Mercy, Onyechi, are you in this class? Mercy, Nkechi, are you in this class? Mercy. Jesus. So Mercy is not in the class? Okay, fine. Madam Josephine.
Sir.
Ethnocentrism simply means judging other people's culture, using your own culture as a yardstick, and you are condemning other people's culture, using your own culture as a yardstick. For example, I believe you are an Igbo woman. So I'm not using Igbo culture. You see other people, their culture is bad. Maybe you see the way they are dressing. You say, no, this is a bad culture. You are being ethnocentric. So that's what we call ethnocentrism. You are giving judgment, using your own culture as a yardstick to judge other people's culture. Then we can say you are being ethnocentric. Do you understand? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, sir. I understand it. Thank you, sir.
Then the opposite of ethnocentric is xenocentric. Xenocentrism. When you are being ethnocentric, you are saying your culture is superior to other people's culture. That means you are being ethnocentric. But when you are being xenocentric, you are saying other people's culture is superior to your own, while your own is inferior. That is being xenocentric.
Excuse me, sir. Is it xenocentric or xenocentric?
Who is asking that question first?
I mean, are they more favor? Is it xeno or xenocentric?
Are they rating?
Are they more favor?
Are they more favor?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh. Were you not in class on Friday?
No, sir.
Why were you not in class?
Sir, I was busy that day.
So what we were doing was more important than your class. Okay. And Friday was a public holiday. Oh. No be so?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The spelling is Zeno, not Z. X-E-N-O. X, not S. X.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Xenocentric.
Yes, sir.
Xenocentrism. So seeing other people's culture as superior to yours and seeing your own as inferior. Then the opposite is being ethnocentric, seeing your own culture as superior to other people's culture, while theirs is inferior. And I could remember we said it last week that there are two sides to that ethnocentrism. It has both positive side and the negative side. The positive side is that it helps that culture to become conservative, to protect their own culture. You can imagine saying that one culture is inferior to your own. That means you will not allow such culture to infiltrate into your own culture. So looking at it, it is being seen as something that is positive to protect your own culture. So that is the positive side of ethnocentrism. And the negative side of it is that if you not allow you to even see the better side of other people's culture. You get it? So it has both positive and negative side. Everything is in this note. Like I said, after this class, I will post this straight to the class. I post the material. It's about 32-page material, so about 32 pages. So God will help us. Since you are writing the exam on Friday, the Lord will strengthen you. So I think we are done with that, saying that culture no longer exists in isolation. Is there anyone who doesn't understand what that means, that culture no longer exists in isolation? I can go back to it. Is there anyone?
Yes, sir.
Who is that?
Yes, sir. Please, I need Josephine and explanation on that. Please, sir. Don't be annoyed.
Madam Josephine. Madam Josephine. Have you left the class?
Sir, I am here. Sir, I am hearing you, sir.
I said cultures no longer exist in isolation. And that simply means there is no culture.
Can it exist alone?
Yes, there is no culture that exists alone without one or two traits of other people's culture added to their culture. Like I asked somebody, who was that now? I think it was, who was that lady now that disappeared? I forgot it. I asked her, as you are there, what you are wearing, is it pure Igbo attire? Madam Josephine, in your house where you are, what you are wearing, is it pure Igbo attire?
Yeah.
Is it pure Igbo attire?
It's mix up. It's mix up. It's mix up.
With another people's culture.
No.
Am I correct?
It's mix up. I mean, you like wearing trousers. It's not Igbo's culture, but it is formed.
So that now makes
wearing trousers by a woman.
No, we are not talking about right or wrong. This is culture we are talking about here. We are not here. This is not church. We are not talking about either right or wrong here. What we are talking about, culture no longer exists in isolation. You get it? Simply means that you have traits of other people's culture with you. So it is not purely your own culture that you are now practicing now. That's why we said culture no longer exists in isolation. You wear trousers, you use wig, you use attachment. They are not part of our culture. But we have absorbed them, they have become part of us, but not that they are part of our culture. So that simply means that no culture exists in isolation. Even the Americans we are talking about, they have other people's culture, they have imbibed, they have adopted as part of their own. They will tell you this trait of culture is from Nigeria. This one is from, which is not part of their original culture. So with that, we say that culture no longer exists in isolation. Do we understand that now, every one of us?
Yes,
Do we understand that now? Okay, fine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The emergence of what is essentially a shared global culture is not likely to result in the current major culture disappearing in the immediate future. The same way many of the small indigenous ones are telling us that it is not that other people's culture will disappear once and we have what we call global culture. Not like it happened to other people that their culture disappeared. But currently, the culture that we have in different parts of the world, they are not going to disappear at once. Language differences and ethnocentrism will very likely prevent that from happening. Because of ethnocentrism, that some people, no matter what you are doing, they will not allow such culture. They will not allow their own culture to just go into extinction like that. They remain conservative and they are protecting some traits of their culture. So because of that, it is not all the traits of their culture that will disappear at once. There are people who are protecting it. Through what? Through ethnocentrism. And again, because of language differences, you get it, it is not going to happen just as once that other people's culture will disappear and we are going to have what we call global culture. There are powerful conflicting trends in the world today. At the same time, that many people are actively embracing globalism. Others are reviving tribalism. You get it? While some are celebrating globalism, others are celebrating what? Tribalism. That tells you the issue of people protecting their own culture. They remain tribalistic. And that is why they will tell you that other culture are inferior to their culture. You know this man, they call him Brachimezie. How many of us know Brachimezie here? Brachimezie, he was one of the greatest, what was it called now? Highlife musician in Africa, in Igbo land, even in Nigeria. He sang a song. He said in 1974, he traveled to maybe UK or US. And why was eating? He said, Oyinbo man country, I think that was UK. He said, why he was eating eba with his soup. He said, a white man came and saw him eating that solid thing. And the man called police. Said, the black man here is trying to commit suicide. I know some of you know that song. Is there anybody who know the song in the house? Nobody. Hey. Are we all Gen Z?
No,
Are we all
sir.
Gen Z in the class?
No, sir.
So, are you saying you don't know that song?
Sir, we have heard the song.
In 1974, I traveled going back my country. Alabeke, Okidioma. You know it now.
Yes, sir. We have heard.
That's it. So there are some people, no matter where they find themselves, they will protect their culture. They will. One of my lecturers in undergraduate days in University of Ibadan, all through my days in UI first degree, this man never wore anything English. I mean, for once, I saw him wearing shoe once. And this was a multi-millionaire. He will always dress in native attire. Yoruba native attire. I only saw him wear shoe once. He will wear leather pants, leather slippers. So there are people who are the one keeping their culture. You know, they are protecting it. They are the custodians of that culture. And you may call them being ethnocentric. You get it. But that's why we said ethnocentrism has positive side of it. It has a positive side of it. So they will not allow their culture to be swept away. There are powerful conflicting trends in the world today. At the same time that many people are actively embracing globalism, others are reviving tribalism. The breakup of the former empire of the Soviet Union into largely ethnic-based nation is an example of the latter. Likewise, some of the nations in Africa whose boundaries were arbitrarily created by Europeans during the colonial era are now experiencing periods of tribal wars that may result in the creation of more ethnically based countries. So they want where their ethnicity will be unique to them, that there won't be any infiltration. Like what happened to you, former USSR, Soviet Union, they now broke into, ethnic level. That when you talk about Ukraine was part of USSR before. They are now standing as a country of their own and with their uniqueness in their culture. With uniqueness in their culture, all of them have similar culture because they want to protect their culture. They don't want any infiltration. They don't want, they are not supporting what we call the global culture. That's why they are being tribalistic. I think we are together. That is it. So method of learning about culture. Method of learning about culture. Anthropologists learn about the culture of another society through field work and first-hand observation of that society. They learn through field work. What is being called ethnography, field work. They go to that society. They live there for a period of time to study the people through observation and through interview, through what we call in-depth interview. In-depth interview, IDI, or what we also call unstructured interview. That is how, because it's going to be a qualitative study. Qualitative study. Observation is one of them. And observation can be divided into two. We have participant observation and we have non-participant observation. And even in that participant observation, we can further divide into two. There's what we call covert participant observation and what we call overt participant observation. Covert participant observation and overt participant observation. We are not talking research here. Let's leave that. So this kind of research is called ethnography. This type of research is called ethnography. Since culture primarily relates to the way people interact with each other, it is not possible to adequately observe it in a laboratory. So you have to be there. That's what we call ethnography. You have to go to that ethnic, the science of studying the ethnic group. Graphy, go there, spend time, and study there. Since culture primarily relates to the way people interact with each other, it is not possible to adequately observe it in a laboratory setting. Imagine how much more will be learned about the actual pattern of interaction of a typical American family by living in their home, rather than asking one of the family members in a college or university office. Do you get that message? Sir. I'm hearing you, madam.
Sir, please, you mentioned two types of observation. Please, you said participant observation, and what again, sir?
Non-participant observation.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
That
okay, I'm hearing you.
You explain participant observation. Can I understand more about it too?
Participant observation simply means that The researcher is participating in what he or she is studying by the name participant. That means the observer is participating in what is observing. That's why it is called participant observation. And it is possible for you not to participate and to observe alone. So that's why we call it participant observation and non-participant observation. Do you understand that? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I hear.
we understand.
Thank you, sir.
I
I
understand.
understand it. Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
fine. So what I just said now is that studying or learning about culture is what you have to observe. An example was given here that you can imagine what you will learn by living in a family for a period of time, and compared to you just invite one member of that family and interview the person or give the person a questionnaire. Are you going to have the same understanding with somebody who stay with that family for 6 months, eat their food, drink their water, going and coming with them? Are you going to have the same information?
No, sir.
Are you? So that is why it is called ethnography. You have to do the field work. You have to immerse yourself into it so you can have first-hand information. And as we know, when you talk about quantitative method, it is superficial in nature. It scratches the surface of what you are trying to study. It is the qualitative method that gives the in-depth understanding of whatever you are studying. And ethnography is one of the methods is one of qualitative method that will give you in-depth understanding about the people you are trying to study. Cultural anthropologists also do systematic comparison of similar cultures. This is called ethnology. The first one is ethnography. This other one is called ethnology. Ethnology. So we said cultural anthropologists also do systematic comparisons of similar culture. This is called ethnology. An example of an ethnological study will be a comparison of what cultures are alike in societies that have economics based on hunting and gathering rather than agriculture. If you are going to do your ethnological study, you must look for societies that share the same, for example, economic ideology. If you are studying a society that is based on hunting and gathering, you can't compare hunting and gathering society with agricultural society. So they must be the same. You can't compare students in Nigeria with students in America. They are not having the same experience. Are you getting what I'm saying? When you are doing ethnological study, they must share the same thing. They must have similarity. So cultural anthropologists can do ethnography. They can do ethnology, that is trying to look for similarities between or among similar societies. Do you understand that? And if you are trying to do your ethnological study, the society you are trying to compare must have the same similarities. They must have similarities. The data for this sort of ethnology will come from the existing ethnographies about these people. That talks about secondary data. Secondary data, existing ethnographies about these people. In other words, an ethnology is essentially a synthesis of the work of many ethnographers. So you look at secondary data, what other people have done. Because if you're trying to compare hunting and gathering society, how many of them do we have nowadays? How many society are hunting and gathering society? I don't think we have any again. You get it? So the only way you can do comparison between them is to look at what ethnographers did in the past. What ethnographers did in the past. That is what will help you, to do your comparison. That is just that. So like I said, they also use participant observation. I've explained participant observation to us. I don't think we need to do that again. Hello?
Hi.
I said we don't need to go through participant observation again.
Please, sir, don't be annoyed, please, sir. This second study, that is study of if you want to study ethnocentrism, please.
Madam, I'm not talking about ethnocentrism here. You have led ethnocentrism. We are talking about ethnological study.
Ethnological study. Ethnological study, please. Throw more light for me on that, please, sir.
Ethnology has to do with comparison. You want to look at similarities of culture. And I said for you to do that, you have to depend on secondary data. That is work that other ethnographers did. Because, for example, if you want to look at hunting and gathering society or different hunting and gathering society, you cannot see any one of them now again. So for you to make similarities or to compare 2 or 3, you have to leverage on what has been done or what previous ethnographers did. And that will help you to do your comparison. That is what ethnology is all about. And we said ethnography simply means doing field study, not just sitting down and interviewing people. You have to go to the field and study the people. What we call field is, in social sciences, what we call field is not where they are playing football. It is where you go to collect your data. Your field can be a school where you collect your data. Your field can be a rural setting where you collect your data. Wherever you are getting your data from is your field. That's why when you are doing your research, after your methodology, you will say you are going to the field. That is to collect your data. You get it? So the next one here is participant observation. Participant observation, like I said, simply means that the researcher is participating in what he or she is observing. That's why we say he is participating. And that's why we call it participant observation. We said anthropologists have discovered that the best way to really get to know another society and its culture is to live in it as an active participant rather than simply an observer. So an observer simply means a non-participant observer. So here we are talking about participant observer. And that method is what we call participant observation. This is called participant observation. By physically and emotionally participating in the social interaction of the host society, it is possible to become accepted as a member. In practice, this requires learning their language and establishing close friendship ties. It also usually involves living within the community as a member, eating what they eat, and taking part in normal family, where is that now? In normal family activities with them. This can be a physical hardship and emotionally stressful, particularly when the whole society is in a rural area of an underdeveloped nation. But we want to do research. That is what researcher goes through. That's what researcher goes through. That is it. So you have to be part of it. Then you will know virtually everything about that. There was a woman, she's dead now. They call her Adejumo Lorisha. She was in Oshodo. She came with her husband from one European countries many, many years ago. They said they came to Nigeria to see how the Oshodo festival is being performed. And when this woman came to Nigeria with her husband, they stayed in Nigeria for some period. They stayed together. And when the husband was going back, this woman did not go back with her husband. She stayed and started participating. In fact, she has her house in that place where they are worshiping Oshodo. And she was given a name. They gave her a Nigerian name, Aduni. And she was called Adejumo Lorisha. She died and she was buried there. She didn't go back to meet her husband. That was an ethnographical study. What she will say while she was alive about Oshodo festival, I will never know 1/10 of it. She was immersed into it. She got to know everything about it. That is a participant's observation. That was an ethnographical study. That was an ethnographical study. She came and she didn't go back again. So, through observation, participant observation, she participated. So we can go through that. At least the most important thing is that we understand what participant observation is all about, because we don't have time. This is our last class. And like I said, this course is divided into two: culture and theory. And what we are talking about here, we are still talking about culture. So the next thing here is talking about ideal, actual, and belief behavior. Ideal, actual, and real behavior. There's what we call ideal and real. Ideal and real. It is ideal for children to respect their parents. That is ideal situation. But what we are seeing, which is the real situation, is that children are not even giving respect to their parents. So we talk about ideal behavior. He's talking about what ought to be the most perfect behavior. So when learning about another culture or subculture firsthand, it is always wise to be cautious about taking a face value, about taking at face value what people say about their way of life. They may be politely deceiving you because they are not sure of your intention, or they may want to provide a more favorable view of themselves, their culture, and their society. So when people are saying it, be careful, because they may want to, protect themselves and protect their society. They may want to, cover up. You get it? They may want to. So you don't take everything at the face value. It is better you look into it by yourself. This is natural. People tend to do that. This is natural. Most of us will do the same thing. If you know that important visitors from another country were coming to your home, will you clean it first? Put on nicer clothes and make sure that everyone in the house will be on their best behavior. In other words, will you want them to see your home and family as you think that they should be rather than how they actually are most of the time? What is that saying is this? Maybe the way you litter your sitting room, you mess everywhere up. But when you know that you are having important visitor, that your house will take a new look, the perfume there will be something else. What we are seeing is not the actual home. It is the ideal home, what ought to be. And that is the impression you will want to give everybody that want to come to your house. That when they come, they say, no, I've been to his house. He's top notch, so neat, everything glittering. But that is the ideal behavior. That is not your real behavior. After that visitor departs, in the next 2 days, you will see plates under the chair. You get it. So that was about the real and the ideal, or the real and the actual behavior. When you are inside your house, in your house, that is where you exhibit your real or actual behavior. You get it? But when you come outside, what you portray is ideal behavior. I don't know if you are in your house now, you are sitting on the floor, and your pot of amala is before you, using your hand to, eat it. But when you go out, please mute your mic. But when you go out, you put up another look entirely. That is ideal, what ought to be, because people are watching, and you don't want to give yourself any bad impression. You don't want them to have any bad impression about you. So that's what we talk about, ideal, actual, and believed behavior. So that's what we said here, that it is natural for everybody to do the same, because we want to give ourselves we want them to have good impression about us. Human social behavior is often complicated. In trying to comprehend the interaction between people, it is useful to think in terms of distinction between ideal and actual and believed behavior. Ideal behavior is what we think we should be doing and what we want others to believe we are doing. Can you see what I'm saying? That is ideal. You know it, what should be. But that's not what you are doing. Your real person, your real self is your actual behavior. But when you want people to have impression about you, you put up that ideal behavior. Do you understand the difference between the two, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Madam Josephine,
Sir,
are you
please,
in the
sir.
class?
Yes, sir. So, ideal behavior is still the one that you know what you're supposed to do, but you are not doing it. But when you may see that somebody may visit you or watch you, you do it. After that day, you continue to be living it. Is it what you mean, sir?
That is, you have explained the two. You have explained both ideal behavior and actual behavior. Yes, the ideal behavior is what you want people to see about you. That you are very, very, you are a good person. That is the ideal behavior. But by the time those people leave, you put up your real behavior. So the ideal behavior is what you want people to see. Because you don't want to, why the real behavior is your real person. That is that. Ideal behavior is what we think we should be doing and what we want others to believe we are doing. Actual behavior is what is really going on. Belief behavior is what we honestly think we are doing. In reality, our actions are often different from what we believe them to be at that time. For example, many North American husbands assume that they do nothing, they do roughly half of the work of cleaning and maintaining their home. Their wife will probably dispute that assertion. Does it mean that the husband are not telling the truth? No. It usually means that their perception of what they are doing may not be realistic in that case. You get it? You believe that you are doing it. Like the example I just gave now about the American man, husband, they will say they are doing half of the house chores. But if you have their wives, they say no. Not that they are lying, but the perception of what they are doing gave them that impression that they are doing half of the chores at home. So that is belief behavior. Is anybody talking?
No, sir.
Now, okay, let me come to the level of student about your belief behavior. You can say, I read 10 hours a day. And by the time they will ask your roommate, does she read 10 hours a day? 10 hours, okay. You get it? You have that perception that because you put your book in your front, you have spent 10 hours. That is your belief behavior. But that is not realistic. I don't know if you understand the difference between the real, ideal, and belief behavior.
So please explain more on the believed behavior.
Okay, let's go back to that. For example, many North American husbands assume that they do roughly half of the work of cleaning and maintaining their home. That is their belief.
Yes, sir.
Their belief. You get it?
Yes, sir.
Their wives will probably dispute that assertion. When they ask their wife will disagree with them. No, we not believe that assertion. Does this mean that the husband are not telling the truth? The answer is no.
Okay.
It usually means that their perception of what they are doing may not be realistic in this case.
Okay.
I've not put it on record. I've not taken time to say, okay, I calculate what I'm spending and what my wife is spending on monthly basis on the family. So let me now say that I spend about 75% of the money in the house.
I'm in the class.
Please, you can mute your mic if you are not asking questions.
Sorry, sir.
Are we together? Now I'm saying that I spend about 75%, income, or take care of our 75% expenses in the house, in my family. That could be a belief behavior. Because we have not sat down to actually calculate what both of us are spending. And if you ask my wife, is it true that I spend 75% or I take care of 75% expenses in the family? She may say no. But my own perception, which is my belief, made me believe that I cover 75%. It is not that I'm lying, but my perception. And in other words, it says that your perception might not be true. By the time you calculate, like the man that the North American husband that said they do half of the work at home. If they sit down and check and quantify what they are doing, they may also realize that it is not up to half they are doing. But when they talk, it is their perception. But that perception might not be real. It's not realistic. So do you now understand the difference between the real, ideal, or actual, ideal, and belief behavior? Do you understand the three now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Oh my God. Yeah. I don't know what I can do. I don't know, but God will help me. God will help me. gathering data for just culture shock, acculturation. Please read this time on your own. I just want to see how I can get to that theory and acculturation, origin of the world. Oh my God. I will definitely send this material to you. Gosh. And there's no way we can meet. There's no way we can meet. There's no way we can sacrifice time. Then we can sacrifice time before exam. Is it
Yes, sir.
possible?
Yes, sir. I think for my side, it's possible.
I don't know. You are just 15 in this class. You are just 14. And I think you are far more than this.
Yes, sir.
You are far more than this. You are far more than this. Because now I just want to rush down to theory. And that is page 22. I just jumped from page, what page 10? I jumped from page 10. Let me see, is it page 10 that I was talking about? Although everything there is talking about culture anyway. Okay, I jumped from page 11
11,
to page
20.
22, I think. That is 11 pages left out. Although
Yes, sir.
it is on culture, it's still on culture. And because this course, like I said, is on social theories and culture. Okay,
So your first
for
decision.
the 13 of us in the class, or for the 12 of us in the class, because I know the host, the manager of the technical officer is also in the house. For the 12 of us in the class, is it possible for us to have a class? It's going to be on me. It's going to be, I just have to make that sacrifice. Is it possible? Maybe by Wednesday is what now? Wednesday is 10. Maybe later
Yes,
in the evening, maybe around 5 to 7. Is it possible? On
Yes, sir.
Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
There's only one person that is talking.
yes, sir.
Oladewa. Oladewa, am I correct? Oladewa what now? Do something.
But sir, please, I want to ask, the Wednesday, is it same, like, is it still in the evening hour like this?
Yes, should be evening hour because there's
Can we
exam
have it
on.
5 to 7? Are
Yes,
you
5 to 7 is suitable because
Oladewa, where
exam
are you?
period.
Oladewa, where are you joining from? Where are you? Oladewa, are you where you want talking? Oladewa Oluwa something. What's the name? What's your name, please? Okay. I don't know how many of us can make it. I just have to tell the person in charge to organize a lecture for us, 5 to 7 or 4 to 6 on, let's be 4 to 6 on Friday, on Wednesday rather. So we can, if that is possible, I just take that aspect of culture I didn't complete. But let me just touch this issue of theory with the remaining time I have. At least I can give summary of all these theories here. You get it?
Okay.
When we talk about theory, I will just give you an explanation before I go into the note. Theory is a scientific explanation that is being used to back up an argument. I put it again. Theory is scientific explanation that is being put forward to support an argument. It gives you how will I put it now? It aids your argument. Let me say, for example, I'm talking about the rich and the poor in the society. And I want to say, okay, the rich are making life difficult for the poor in the society. The best theory I can use is Marxism, what is also called conflict theory. Karl Marx believed that the bourgeoisie, who are called the upper class, are the one making life difficult in his theory of either capitalism or Marxism. It's still the same thing, or conflict theory. We have other conflict theory like feminism. Feminism is also a conflict theory, but the conflict theory of feminism is between male and female. The feminism, the conflict of feminism is between male and female. Why the conflict theory of capitalism is between the rich and the poor? You get it? So according to capitalism, or according to Marxism, it says that everything in the society is supporting even the wealthy, the capitalists, the bourgeoisie in the society to further dominate the proletariat, the poor people in the society. It further said that even religion is supporting even the domination. Religion is supporting them because there's what we call the structure and what we call the economic base. You know, every other structure, superstructure now, we call it superstructure. It's like a house, but the foundation is economic base. That is the explanation Kamas gave. That we have what we call the economic base and the superstructure standing on that economic base. So it's now telling you that everything that is happening in the superstructure, what are the things that made up the superstructure? The family, the politics, the religion, the culture, all of them are what we refer to as what the superstructure. And what is holding them is what we call the economic base. And that is economy, determine what happened in the superstructure. And the people who are managing or who are in control of this economic base are the ones determining what is happening in every society. And Kama said that there's no amount of salary you are being paid by this bourgeoisie that will commensurate to what you are bringing to that company. That the salary you are being paid is just a salary that will keep you alive to continue to work as a tool in the hand of the bourgeoisie. That the bourgeoisie will never pay you any salary that will liberate you to become another bourgeoisie. Because if you become one of the bourgeoisie now, we will be driving that CEO. So you can use capitalism, you can use Marxism. So you can see that's a theory you have used to back up your argument. Like the lawyer will stand up in court and say, according to Section 5, Subsection 6 of 1999 Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria, which says that is what the theory is doing for you. It's backing up your argument. Do we understand what theory does?
Yes, sir.
That is what theory is doing. It's giving support to your argument. We said sociological theories are the core and underlying strength of the discipline. They guide researchers in their studies. They also guide practitioners in their intervention strategies. And they will provide you with basic understanding of how to see the larger social picture in your own personal life. A theory is a set of interrelated concepts used to describe, explain, and predict how society and its parts are related to each other. The metaphor I've been used for many years to illustrate the usefulness of theory is that I call the Google's metaphor. Googles are a set of interrelated parts that help us to see things more clearly. Google worked before because the best scientific components work together to magnify, enlarge, clarify, and expand in our view. Google here is not Google search. It's talking about your lens, your glasses. That is the picture is using for theory. It enables us to see clearly. It enables us to understand, to enlarge, to magnify, and expand to our view of things we are studying. Theories are a set of interrelated concepts and ideas that have been scientifically tested and combined to magnify, enlarge, clarify, and expand our understanding of people. There are behaviors and their societies. Without theories, science will be futile. Without theories, science will be futile, exercise in statistics. In the diagram, I'm not showing that diagram anyway. You can see the process by which a theory leads sociologists to perform a certain type of study with certain types of questions that can test the assumption of the theory. Once the study is administered, the findings and generalization can be considered to see if they support the theory. That is, there's what Karl Popper called hypothetical theory, hypothetical deductive theory. That means you are starting your research from hypothesis. That is, okay, this is intermediate class. Okay. Don't let me go deep. This is intermediate class. I'm going beyond this class. Once the study is administered, the findings and generalization can be considered to see if they support the theory. If they do, similar studies will be performed. Who is this person now? Please mute your mic. Now, we go straight to different theories. We have conflict theory. And he just explained everything I've said about Karl Marx. Conflict theory. That there is conflict in the society. And this conflict is between the rich and the poor. Like I also said, he said the bourgeoisie and the proletariat, the wealthy and the poor. If you want to look at another conflict theory, you consider the one I talk, feminism, the conflict between male and female, saying that the society is being dominated by men and it is being seen as men world. It is also a conflict. Then another theory you look at is functionalism or structural functionalism. The functionalists believe that one of them is Tarkopassin and Emily Durkheim. They are both functionalists. What is the functionalist or what are the functionalists saying? The functionalists believe that the society is made up of what we call institutions. They see the society as what we call social systems. Every human society, according to the functionalist, is called social system. And the social system is made up of institutions. And they believe that every social system, that is every human society, has at least 4 institutions. One is religion. No, one is family, political institution, economic institution, and cultural institution. But some people, people divided that cultural institution into 3. Some said cultural institution is divided into religion, education, and media, and mass media. And if you look at the 3 under this cultural institution, they are avenues of learning. The religion, the education, and mass media. So, according to the functionalists, they believe that all these institutions are working in harmony. And that's why functionalist theory are also called consensus theory, agreement theory. And the functionalists also believe that everything in the society is functional. The functionalists will believe that, will tell you that crime is functional in the society. Do you agree with me? That crime has a role that is playing in the society, according to functionalists. They believe that everything in the society is functional. And if you look at it, you will agree with them. I can remember in my secondary school days when we were doing economics, and the teacher asked us, what are the economic importance of mosquito? Can somebody help us out? What are the economic importance of mosquito? Anybody in the house? Is anybody talking? What are the economic importance of mosquito? Anybody in the house? Why are you not talking now? What are the economic importance of mosquitoes?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Thank you, Jari. I know you won't leave me alone. I'm hearing.
I don't know if it will sound funny, but it benefits pharmaceutical companies because they'll sell drugs for malaria.
What's your name? What's your name before you continue?
My name is Faith, sir.
Faith waiting.
Faith Roland.
Roland. Oh, na English name. You be Yoruba or you be Igbo?
No, I'm from Akwa Ibom State, sir.
Okay. Okay. South.
Yes, sir.
That is just the truth. Because if mosquito no bite you, people no go sick. The doctor no go get job. They no go get money to pay. The pharmaceutical company self no go sell drug. And those pharmacies, they have family, they have their wife, they have children. Their children will go to school, they pay school fees. Can you see the economic importance of mosquito?
Yes, sir.
And if you also look at it from the part of the functionalist, that crime, deviant behavior is functional in the society. Because if there is no crime, there won't be police. And some people are in police force, they are collecting salary. There are judges. There are prison warders, people working in the correctional centers. So they tell you that it's functional, it has what it's doing in the society. So they believe that every part of the society, they use human body to give their explanation. That as the head, hand, leg work together to achieve a common purpose. You see, if they say, okay, I'm fighting with the mouth, I will not feed the mouth. Don't you know that the hand itself will suffer? By the time the body is emaciating, the hand will emaciate. You get it? So it is strongly believed that all these components of the society work together to achieve a common goal, that is to maintain order in the society. So that is from the functionalist perspective. That's the functionalist. I strongly believe that by the grace of God, we said the functionalist theory claimed that society is in a state of balance. Can we see there is harmony in the society? They believe there is consensus, there is harmony. That the state is in a state of balance and kept that way through function of society's component part. What are the component parts I've just mentioned? Who can remind me the component part of the society, of the social system? I've just mentioned them now. What are the component parts? Oh my God. Were you not with me? Okay. This is 603. But before I close this class, do we all agree that we meet on Wednesday by 4 to 6? Do we agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we all agree. Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, by the special grace of God, we see how we can touch this aspect. I'm just giving you the summary of it. By the time you read, you will understand what the theory. I'm just giving you the understanding of those theory. There's what we call symbolic interactionism. That is talking about symbols in the society. There are so many symbols. Language is one of the symbols that keep the society going. It's a symbol that is learned in the society, and it keeps the society going. We need the symbols to interact. And there is need for agreement when we're talking about symbol. What is called fine is fine. Because if what you call fine is not the same thing as what I understand as fine, there will be chaos in the society. Symbolic interactionists claim that society is composed of ever-present interaction among individuals who share symbols and their meanings. So that is what keeps the society going. They have symbols and they have the same meaning. They have symbols and they have the same meaning. So that is what to maintain, how to maintain orderliness in the society. If we are in the same society and sit down to me means stand up, and sit down to you means sit down, you know there will be confusion now. There will be confusion. So there is need for us to have common symbols and common interpretation or common meaning for these symbols. Are you getting the point? There is a particular clothes you will wear that all of us will agree that this clothes is worn in a time like this. We can imagine this is, okay, rainy season. You get it. And somebody is wearing sweater. Do you know all of us agree that in a cold season, you wear that? It's a symbol. You get it? That all of us agree that sweater can prevent coldness. It's a symbol that is agreed by all. So that's talking about symbolic interactionism. We live by symbol. All of us, we live by symbol. So that is symbolic interactionism. This is very useful. This is a very useful theory for understanding other people, improving communication, learning and teaching skills is cross-cultural relation. In cross-cultural relation, and generally speaking, not doing harm to your roommate, as many of my students often say after understanding this theory. Values, communication, witch hunting, crisis management, fear from crime, path, love, and all that comes with it. Evil and sin, what is ought and what is not, it is by symbolic interaction. What is ought is what is ought by everybody. It's a symbol. When we say fire, all of us know what it means. When I say fire, people will run out. It is only a madman that will see it. Because all of us will understand what symbol, what fire stands for as a symbol. You get it? So, and that keeps the society moving. by the grace of God. I'm just giving the summary. Another theory here is social exchange theory. Social exchange theory, which says that nothing goes for nothing. Nothing goes for what? Nothing. It is what you get. Social exchange. What will determine your action is what you are getting. What determines your action is what you are getting. Is what you are getting. What determines your action is what you are getting. The remaining theory and second interactionist theory is social exchange theory. Social exchange theory claims society is composed of ever-present interaction among individuals who attempt to maximize reward while minimizing cost. Assumption is that in this theory are similar to conflict theory assumption, yet have their interistic underpinning. Basically, human beings are rational creatures capable of making sound choices. One, the pros and the cons of the choice are understood. This theory uses a formula to measure the choice-making practice. By the special grace of God, we will meet again on Wednesday. Please tell others, post it on your platform. The Lord will help us. Thank you very much. We'll meet again by Wednesday.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Welcome.
sir.
Thank you. You're
Thank you,
welcome.
sir.
Wednesday around 4, right?
Yes, I think so. 4.
I think it is Monday.